The soft hum of the whisper station was Elara's lullaby, her morning alarm, and the constant companion to her every thought. It was a sound woven from recycled air, purring conduits, and the distant, almost imperceptible thrum of the starlight arrays, unfurling like silent crystalline petals into the void. At 10 years old, Elara knew this sound better than she knew the laughter of other children. For Whisper Station was her entire world, and the stars were her only playmates. Her room was small, circular, with a single viewport that dominated one wall. Tonight, it was a swirling vortex of nebulae greens and blues, a cosmic watercolor painted across the black canvas of space. She slept on a bunk built into the curve of the wall, a thick, woven blanket of recycled nanofibers pulled up to her chin. On a small shelf above her head, a collection of lumen jars glowed softly. These weren't just decorative. Each held a captured fragment of starlight, bottled and preserved, each shimmering with a unique hue and a story only Elara could truly feel. One pulsed with the deep crimson of a dying giant, another sparkled with the newborn brilliance of a stellar nursery, and a third held the cool, steady blue of a distant, ancient sun. She stretched, her small body unfolding with the slow grace of someone accustomed to microgravity, even if Whisper Station maintained a comfortable 0.8 dg for its inhabitants. Her grandmother, Nana Elara, said it was important for growing bones, even if it meant a little more effort for the station's tiny thrusters. The station itself was a marvel of quiet engineering. Shaped like a flattened, multifaceted jewel, it spun gently on the outer rim of the Perseus arm, far from the bustling trade routes and colony worlds. Its primary purpose, its raison d'être, was the collection and weaving of starlight. Not just for energy, though it provided abundant power, but for its essence. Nana Elara, a woman whose silver hair seemed to catch and hold the very light they sought, often said that starlight carried the echoes of time, the whispers of distant worlds, and the dreams of every atom it had ever touched. They were starlight weavers, a dying art, she'd lament. But one Elara knew was the most important work in the universe. Breakfast was a simple affair in the small galley. Nutrient paste, flavored with synth berries, and a warm cup of kelp tea. Nana Elara sat opposite her, her face crinkled with age and wisdom. Her eyes, the same piercing blue as Elara's, already alight with the anticipation of the night's work. "Sleep well, little star?" Nana asked, her voice a low, comforting rumble. Elara nodded, swirling her paste with a spoon. "The Orion stream felt particularly active last night. I could feel its pulse even through the hull." Nana Elara chuckled. "Always feeling the universe, aren't you? Good. That's what makes a true weaver. Not just the hands, but the heart that listens." After breakfast, their day followed a familiar, comforting rhythm. Checks of the station's systems, calibration of the ether catchers, the delicate, gossamer-thin arrays that unfurled from the station's facets to capture photons, and maintenance of the lumen jars and dream looms, the intricate machinery that processed and stored the collected light. Elara's small hands were surprisingly adept at manipulating the fine tools, her fingers dancing over circuits and light guides. She loved the clean, sterile smell of the labs, mixed with the faint, metallic scent of ozone from the energy conduits. As the station began its slow rotation, bringing the primary collection arrays into optimal alignment with the galactic plane, a sense of quiet anticipation settled over them. This was the moment. The light-gathering cycle. "Ready, little star?" Nana Elara asked, placing a gentle hand on Elara's shoulder as they stood in the central observation deck. The deck was a vast hemispherical dome, offering an unobstructed, dizzying view of the cosmos. Tonight, it was a tapestry of shimmering dust lanes and distant galaxies, the Milky Way a brilliant arching river of light. Elara nodded, her breath catching in her throat, as it always did. "Ready." Nana Elara moved to the main console, her movements economical and precise. Her fingers, gnarled with age, danced over the holographic interface, activating the ether catches. Outside, a symphony of silent motion began. From the station's many facets, vast, translucent membranes began to unfurl, spreading out like titanic jellyfish tentacles. They were almost invisible against the backdrop of space, designed to absorb every available photon without creating even a ripple in the fabric of light. "Nets deployed," Nana Elara murmured, her eyes scanning the readouts. Primary conduits open. Let the weaving begin. A faint, almost imperceptible shimmer began to coalesce within the observation deck. It started as a barely there haze, then thickened, coalescing into swirling currents of liquid light. This was the raw starlight, funneled directly from the ether catchers through crystalline light guides, flowing into the heart of Whisper Station. It moved with the grace of water, yet it felt like pure energy, silent and profound. Elara stepped forward, holding out her hands. The light currents swirled around her, a cool, tingling sensation on her skin. She closed her eyes, letting the myriad frequencies and wavelengths wash over her. Each star had its own unique signature, its own voice. She could feel the ancient, heavy rumble of red dwarfs, the sharp, almost painful brilliance of young blue giants, the steady rhythmic pulse of yellow suns like Sol. Though Sol itself was now an overcrowded distant memory, a pinprick on the galactic map. Tonight, we focus on the Veil Nebula, Nana Elara instructed, her voice soft, almost reverent. The remnants of a supernova, Elara. A star that lived and died in a spectacular burst of creation and destruction. What stories do you feel within its light? Elara concentrated, reaching out with her senses. The Veil Nebula's light was complex, layered. She felt echoes of immense power, of unimaginable heat and pressure, but also a profound sense of release, of atoms scattering and reforming, the genesis of new cosmic structures. There was a faint, almost mournful quality, like a final sigh, but also a vibrant promise of new beginnings. It's like a song of both endings and beginnings, Nana. Elara whispered, her eyes still closed. A very loud, very bright song, but with quiet pauses where you can almost hear new planets forming. Nana Elara smiled, a deep satisfaction settling on her face. Precisely, little star. That's the true art of starlight weaving. Not just collecting the light but understanding its narrative. They worked in tandem for hours, guiding the raw starlight into various processing chambers. Some of it was directed into energy accumulators, converted into the power that sustained Whisper Station. The bulk, however, was channeled into the lumen jars and, eventually, the dream looms. The lumen jars were specialized containment vessels, each designed to hold a specific type of starlight, preserving its unique frequency and essence. Elara carefully filled a new jar with the Veil Nebula's light, watching as it settled into a shimmering, multi-hued gas within the glass, pulsing with the silent energy she'd felt. Then came the weaving. In the main loom chamber, a series of intricate holographic projectors and quantum entanglement fields created a three-dimensional canvas of pure light. Here, the collected starlight wasn't just stored, it was arranged, layered, and sculpted. Nana Elara, with Elara's assistance, would take specific frequencies, specific stories from the lumen jars, and weave them into tangible, ephemeral art pieces. Sometimes they created stunning cosmic tapestries, swirling nebulae rendered in light that pulsed with real stellar energy. Other times they formed dream spheres, small handheld orbs that, when held, would project a silent sensory experience derived from the starlight's essence, the feeling of a solar flare, the quiet majesty of a gas giant's rings, the chill of interstellar space. These were often sent to distant collectors, art houses, or even to data archives for scientific study. Elara's favorite part was the creation of the dream spheres. She loved imagining someone, somewhere, holding a sphere she had helped weave, experiencing a fragment of the universe she had personally collected. It was a connection, a bridge, across the vastness. As the night wore on, the Veil Nebula's light began to wane, its collection cycle nearing its end. Nana Elara was already preparing to shift the ether catchers to a new target, a distant globular cluster known for its ancient stable stars. Just a few more minutes for the Veil, Elara, Nana said, her fingers dancing over the loom's controls, coaxing a final delicate filigree of light from the nebula's essence. Then we'll move on to the elders. Elara was carefully organizing a shelf of completed lumen jars, her mind still humming with the powerful energy of the supernova remnant. But as she reached for a jar of nascent starlight, a strange sensation prickled at the edge of her awareness. It wasn't the familiar hum of the station, nor the fading thrum of the Veil Nebula. This was something else. A flicker. a resonance that was both startlingly new and profoundly ancient. She paused, her hand hovering over the jar. The liquid light in the processing conduits, usually flowing with a predictable rhythm, seemed to stutter, a brief, almost imperceptible surge. "Nana," Elara murmured, turning to her grandmother. "Did you feel that?" Nana Elara, engrossed in her weaving, didn't respond immediately. Elara walked over to the main collection console, her bare feet silent on the cool metallic floor. The readouts, usually a steady stream of data, showed a brief, anomalous spike in energy absorption from one of the furthest ether catchers. "Nana, something's different," Elara insisted, pointing to the console. "Look." A spike just for a moment from Sector Gamma 7. Nana Elara finally looked up, her brow furrowed. She glanced at the console, then closed her eyes for a moment, letting her own deep connection to the starlight wash over her. Her eyes snapped open. "You're right, little star. That's unusual. The Veil Nebula's light is very specific. This isn't part of its signature." She quickly rerouted the incoming light from Sector Gamma 7 into an isolated diagnostic chamber. Usually this chamber was used for filtering out cosmic debris or rogue radiation bursts. But what flowed into it now was clearly not debris. It was light, yes, but unlike anything Elara had ever seen. The Veil Nebula's light was vibrant, expansive. The globular cluster's light was steady, serene. This new light was agitated. It pulsed with an almost frantic energy, a brilliant iridescent silver that seemed to shift and shimmer with impossible speed. It wasn't just bright. It felt alive. "What is it?" Elara breathed, mesmerized. The isolated chamber was usually dim, but this light illuminated it completely, casting dancing shadows across the walls. It thrummed, not just electrically, but with an almost biological pulse. Nana Elara adjusted the diagnostic filters, her expression a mix of awe and deep concern. The frequency signature, it's unlike any known stellar emission. Too complex, too organized. It's not natural starlight, Elara, not in the way we understand it. The silver light pulsed faster, almost like a heartbeat. As Elara watched, a faint, almost invisible pattern began to emerge within its swirling currents. It wasn't random. It was intricate, geometric, shifting and reforming with breathtaking speed. Like a living circuit diagram, or a language written in pure energy. "It's trying to communicate," Elara whispered, instinctively reaching out a hand towards the chamber. A faint warmth radiated from the light, a warmth that felt oddly familiar, like a distant memory struggling to surface. Nana Elara quickly isolated a small sample of the anomalous light, drawing it into a pristine, empty lumen jar she always kept ready for unexpected finds. As the last of the silver light flowed from the chamber into the jar, it coalesced not into a shimmering gas or liquid, but into a small, perfect sphere. It hung suspended in the center of the jar, no bigger than Elara's thumb, a miniature sun of pulsating silver. It seemed to inhale and exhale, its light brightening and dimming with a steady rhythmic cadence. Elara stared, her heart thumping in her chest. This was unlike any starlight she had ever helped collect. It wasn't a story to be felt, or a dream to be woven. It felt like a question. An urgent, silent plea. "It's a seed," Elara murmured, fascinated. "A starlight seed." Nana Elara nodded slowly, her eyes wide with wonder. "Indeed, little star, a seed, but of what, I cannot say. Its energy signature, it's incredibly powerful, yet also delicate. Almost fragile." She picked up the lumen jar, holding it carefully. The sphere pulsed, its silver light casting a dynamic glow on her aged face. "It's clearly not from any star we recognize. Its composition, its resonance, it's artificial, or something beyond our current understanding of natural phenomena." Elara reached out, her fingers brushing the cool glass of the lumen jar. As she did, a jolt, not physical, but purely mental, shot through her. A fleeting image, vivid and startling, flashed in her mind. A vast swirling nebula, far grander and more colorful than any she had ever seen. And within it, a single, impossibly bright point of light, like a beacon. Then, a feeling. A feeling of profound loneliness, of being lost, and an overwhelming sense of yearning. She gasped, pulling her hand back. I felt something, Nana. A picture. A feeling. Nana Elara looked at her intently. What did you feel, Elara? Elara closed her eyes, trying to recapture the fleeting sensation. Loneliness. And a beacon. Somewhere far away. She opened her eyes, meeting her grandmother's gaze. It's looking for something, Nana. Or someone. The starlight seed in the jar pulsed, as if in agreement. Its silver light seemed to intensify. And for a moment, Elara thought she saw faint, intricate patterns shifting within its core, like microscopic gears turning, or a hidden language unfolding. It wasn't just light, it was information. A message. This changes things, Nana Elara said, her voice barely a whisper, her eyes fixed on the pulsating sphere. This isn't just starlight, Elara. This is a call. And it's reached us, across unimaginable distances. Elara looked from her grandmother to the glowing starlight seed, then out the observation deck, towards the endless star-strewn void. A new feeling stirred within her, pushing past the wonder and the curiosity. It was a sense of purpose. A quiet, undeniable pull. The universe, which had always been her silent playmate, had just sent her a direct invitation. And Elara, the starlight weaver, felt an urgent, compelling need to answer. We have to answer it, Grandma, Elara whispered, the words a fragile breath against the vastness. Her voice, usually light and playful, now held an unfamiliar resonance, an echo of the seed's own silent song. Grandmother Lyra turned, her eyes, ancient and wise, reflecting the seed's gentle glow. I know, little weaver. This seed, it's more than just a beacon. It's a fragment of something ancient, a piece of the universe's own consciousness perhaps. It doesn't just call. It guides. And it has chosen you. Elara's heart fluttered. Chosen her? She was just Elara, the girl who loved to float among the hydroponic gardens and chase motes of dust in the sunbeams. But how? Where would he even go? Lyra smiled, a warmth that seemed to push back the chill of the void. We go where the seed leads. This call isn't a random burst. It's a focused beam, a path woven through the fabric of space. It's guiding us to its origin or perhaps to another like it. She reached out, her hand hovering over the seed. For generations our family has safeguarded these stories, this knowledge. We've always known that one day, a seed would awaken, and that the one it awakened for would be the one to truly understand its song. You mean, my starlight weaving? Elara asked, remembering the time she'd felt the subtle currents of energy in the station's systems, or seen shimmering patterns others couldn't. Precisely, Lyra affirmed. You don't just see the light, Elara. You feel its story, its direction. You are uniquely attuned to its frequency. The seed is singing, and you, my dear, are its conductor. The idea was both exhilarating and terrifying. Elara imagined a vast invisible symphony stretching across the cosmos, and she, a small girl, was being asked to lead it. So, we just follow it. We prepare, Lyra corrected gently. Our station, while comfortable, is not designed for deep space exploration beyond charted territories. But we have the Elara. She's been dormant for decades, but she's sturdy, fast, and built for journeys into the unknown. The Elara. Elara knew of the ship. It was a legend whispered among the station's older residents, a sleek, almost mythical vessel docked in a rarely opened bay, said to have belonged to Lyra's own grandmother, a renowned stellar cartographer. It was a ship from a different era, built with a spirit of adventure that felt almost forgotten in their current age of routine orbital maintenance. Over the next few days, the quiet hum of the station was punctuated by a new, exciting energy. Lyra and Elara spent hours in the Elara immense docking bay, a cavernous space usually reserved for emergency repairs. The ship, when they finally brought its systems online, was breathtaking. The Elara wasn't a colossal cruiser, but an elegant explorer designed for efficiency and adaptability. Its hull gleamed with a pearlescent finish, a material Elara's grandmother called chrono-alloy, capable of self-repair and temperature regulation across extreme cosmic conditions. Instead of traditional thrusters, it had a series of intricate, almost gossamer-thin panels along its wings, unfurling like petals. "These are our lumen sails," Lyra explained, her hand tracing the delicate lines. "They don't burn fuel in the conventional sense. They collect and convert ambient starlight, cosmic radiation, even the subtle energies of dark matter filaments. The seed, I believe, will amplify their efficiency, guiding us through the universe's own energy currents." Elara spent her days learning the ship. Lyra, with the patience of a galaxy, taught her about the Elar's intricate navigation systems, its life support, its atmospheric processors that could synthesize breathable air from nearly anything. Elara learned to read the complex schematics, the energy readouts, the subtle tremors that indicated a system was under strain. She wasn't just a passenger. She was becoming a co-pilot, a co-adventurer. But her most important task was with the Starlight Seed. Lyra had carefully installed it in the Elar's central console, nestled within a field of shimmering energy. It pulsed with a steady rhythmic glow, a constant, silent heartbeat. Elara discovered that when she placed her hands near it, the glow intensified, and a soft harmonic hum resonated deep within her chest. It wasn't just a physical sensation. It was as if the seed was whispering directly into her mind, not with words, but with images and feelings. She felt vast distances, swirling nebulae, and the gentle, insistent tug of an invisible thread. "It's like it's showing me the way," Elara explained to Lyra one evening, as the station's artificial sunset painted the observation deck in hues of lavender and gold. "Not just a direction, but a path, like a river of light flowing through space." Lyra nodded, her gaze distant. "The universe is not empty, Elara. It's a tapestry of energies, currents, and subtle forces. Many ancient civilizations believed in a cosmic web, a network of starlight and consciousness that connected everything. Perhaps the seed is a key to navigating that web." As days turned into weeks, the Elara became their world. They stocked it with nutrient pastes, hydro-grown vegetables from Elara's own garden, and precious stores of purified water. They ran countless diagnostics, calibrated the lumen sails, and practiced emergency protocols until they felt like second nature. Elara learned to sleep in the Elar's compact, yet surprisingly comfortable, sleeping pods, lulled by the faint hum of its systems, the seed's distant glow a constant comfort. Sometimes fear would creep in. The vastness of space, the immense unknown, would press down on her, making her breath catch. What if they got lost? What if the call led them to danger? What if they never returned to their cozy station, to the familiar faces of the other residents? Lyra, sensing her unspoken anxieties, would wrap Elara in a warm embrace. "Adventure isn't about being fearless, little weaver," she'd murmur, her voice a soft melody. "It's about feeling the fear, acknowledging it, and then choosing courage anyway. We are together, Elara. And we have the seed. It won't lead us astray." One cycle, as the station completed its slow orbit around their gas giant home, Lyra announced, "It's time, Elara. The seed signal is at its strongest. The cosmic currents are favorable." A wave of exhilaration, mixed with a profound solemnity, washed over Elara. This was it. The moment they had been preparing for. The departure was quiet. No grand fanfare, no cheering crowds. The station's control center, manned by a skeleton crew, simply wished them a safe journey. As the Elara gently disengaged from the docking clamps, Elara stood at the observation window, watching her home shrink. The familiar lights of the station, the hydroponic domes, the bustling corridors, all condensed into a distant jewel. A pang of longing, sharp and sudden, tightened her chest. "It's okay to feel sad, Elara," Lyra said softly, placing a hand on her shoulder. "Home is a part of who we are, but sometimes, home is also a starting point for something even bigger." Elara took a deep breath, letting the feeling settle. Then she turned, her gaze falling upon the starlight seed, pulsing with unwavering certainty. Its light seemed to reach out, to beckon. She was ready. Lyra activated the lumen sails. With a whisper-soft whir, the intricate panels unfurled fully, catching the distant starlight. A shimmering aura enveloped the ship, a soft, almost imperceptible hum filling the cabin. The Elara didn't rocket away. It glided smoothly and silently, picking up speed with an effortless grace. Soon the gas giant and its orbiting station were just another star in the vast tapestry. They passed through the outer rim of their solar system, leaving behind the familiar constellations. The stars outside became sharper, more numerous, no longer filtered by an atmosphere or light pollution. They were raw, brilliant diamonds scattered across an infinite velvet. Elara sat in the co-pilot's seat, her hands hovering over the console, but her attention fixed on the seed. It wasn't just glowing. It was actively projecting a delicate, almost three-dimensional map of energy currents. Her fingers, guided by instinct, adjusted the lumen-scale frequencies, feeling the Elara respond, subtly shifting its trajectory, aligning itself with these invisible rivers of light. "You're doing beautifully, Elara," Lyra murmured, her eyes on the main navigation screen, which now displayed a complex, ever-shifting pattern, mirroring Elara's intuitive adjustments. "You're not just piloting. You're dancing with the universe." Days bled into weeks as they traversed the void. The Elara was a bubble of warmth and light, a tiny oasis against the infinite cold. Elara and Lyra fell into a rhythm. Elara would manage the seed's guidance, fine-tuning their course, while Lyra monitored the ship systems, ran diagnostics, and charted their progress. They would share meals, tell stories, and marvel at the ever-changing cosmic panorama outside. Elara learned to distinguish between different types of nebulae. The swirling, colorful gas clouds that were stellar nurseries, the ghostly remnants of supernovas, and the vast, dark dust lanes that stretched like cosmic rivers. She saw meteor showers that lasted for days, their fiery streaks painting transient patterns across the blackness. She witnessed distant galaxies, their spiral arms gleaming with billions of stars, appearing like cosmic pinwheels slowly turning in a silent ballet. One cycle, the seed's glow intensified dramatically, its harmonic hum resonating with a new urgency. On the main view screen, a phenomenon appeared that Elara had only ever seen in theoretical simulations: a cosmic filament. Not a dust lane, but a vast, shimmering strand of dark matter and energy, stretching across light years, connecting distant galaxy clusters. It was a highway of the universe, and the starlight seed was pulling them directly towards it. "The cosmic web," Lyra breathed, her voice filled with awe. "The seed isn't just leading us across space, Elara. It's showing us how the universe truly moves." As the Elara approached the filament, the view was breathtaking. It wasn't a solid structure but a shimmering, almost liquid-like current of energy, shot through with faint, ghostly light. It seemed to pulse with an unseen power, a silent, ancient rhythm. "It's like a river of stars," Elara whispered, utterly captivated. She felt the seed surge beneath her hands, and a new sensation bloomed within her. She didn't just feel the filament. She felt connected to it, as if her own starlight weaver abilities were resonating with this cosmic current. She could feel the flow, the subtle eddies, the powerful, silent rush of universal energy. Without conscious thought, her fingers danced over the seed, not adjusting systems, but seemingly communicating with the energy itself. The lumen sails flared with an ethereal blue light, and the Elara accelerated, not with a jolt, but with a graceful surge. They were no longer simply traveling on the current. They were becoming a part of it, riding the cosmic tide. Lyra watched Elara, a profound wonder in her eyes. "You're not just weaving light, Elara," she murmured. "You're weaving the ship into the universe itself." Elara didn't hear her. She was lost in the sensation, her mind a conduit between the seed, the Elara, and the vast living tapestry of the cosmos. The journey had just begun, and the universe, in all its unimaginable glory, was opening itself to her, thread by shimmering thread. What wonders lay ahead, deeper within this river of stars, she could only begin to dream. The universe, in all its unimaginable glory, was opening itself to her, thread by shimmering thread. What wonders lay ahead, deeper within this river of stars, she could only begin to dream. And the dreams began to bloom, not in the hazy realm of sleep, but in the vibrant, hyper-real landscape of Elara's awakened mind. The seed, a gentle hum at the core of her being, resonated with the Elara's crystalline matrix, extending tendrils of pure consciousness into the void. She wasn't merely observing the universe through sensors, she was feeling it. The cold vacuum transmuted into a vast, breathable ocean of energy. The distant stars became shimmering pearls, each radiating its own unique song. The river of stars was no mere metaphor. Elara perceived it as a current, a galactic flow of dark matter and luminous nebulae, carrying them deeper into uncharted territories. The Elara, guided by her intent, became a leaf upon this current, its engines merely a whisper against the cosmic torrent. Lyra's soft voice, a distant memory, had spoken of weaving the ship into the universe. And that was exactly what was happening. Boundaries blurred. The ship's hull was no longer a barrier, but a sensitive membrane, translating the universe's raw data into a symphony of light and sensation within Elara's consciousness. She felt the gravitational pull of ancient suns, a gentle tugging at the edges of her perception. She tasted the faint metallic tang of interstellar dust, a mere wisp on the cosmic tongue. She heard the silent birth of new stars, a crescendo of light and heat that echoed through the fabric of space-time. The seed was not just a translator, it was an amplifier, taking the subtle nuances of the cosmos and rendering them into a language she could understand, a language spoken directly to her soul. Her eyes, though open, saw beyond the physical viewport. She saw the intricate patterns of the cosmic web, the invisible filaments of dark matter connecting galaxies like a luminous neural network. She saw the echoes of ancient explosions, ripples of light still expanding outwards from events that had occurred billions of years ago. It was overwhelming, yet utterly peaceful. There was no chaos. Only an intricate, ordered dance. A grand design that unfolded with infinite patience. Lyra watched her mother, a silent sentinel, in the soft glow of the navigation chamber. Elara's face was serene, almost beatific, her brow smooth, her lips curved in a faint, knowing smile. The light patterns woven by the seed around Elara pulsed gently, reflecting in Lyra's wide, curious eyes. Sometimes a particularly vibrant shimmer would leap from Elara's form, dancing across the controls or tracing delicate patterns on the viewport before fading. Lyra longed to reach out and touch them, but she knew not to disturb her mother when she was so deeply connected. "Mama?" Lyra whispered, her voice barely audible even in the quiet chamber. She didn't expect a reply, not a spoken one anyway. A flicker of light, brighter than the others, detached itself from Elara's aura and drifted towards Lyra. It hovered before her, a tiny, swirling galaxy of iridescent dust, then gently dissolved against the viewport, leaving behind a faint sweet scent, like ozone mixed with starlight. It was Elara's way of acknowledging her, a silent caress from the depths of her cosmic immersion. Lyra giggled, a soft, joyful sound that seemed to resonate through the ship's gentle hum. She pressed her nose against the cool glass, imagining the vastness beyond, and wondering what her mother was seeing, truly seeing. The Elara continued its silent journey, a needle threading through the universe's endless tapestry. Hours dissolved into what felt like moments or perhaps millennia. Time itself seemed to stretch and compress under the influence of the seed's perception. Elara felt the subtle shifts in the cosmic current, a change in texture, a new resonance forming ahead. It was not a physical beacon, nor a data spike on a traditional sensor array. It was a feeling, a distinct invitation. "Something new, Lyra," Elara murmured, her voice a little deeper, infused with a cosmic resonance that made the air around her tingle. She didn't open her eyes, but her awareness sharpened, focusing on the approaching anomaly. A whisper on the wind. Lyra, startled by the sound of her mother's voice, looked up. "A whisper? What kind of whisper, Mama?" "One made of light and stardust," Elara replied, a faint smile playing on her lips. "A cosmic lullaby. We're approaching a nebula, but not like any we've charted before." Through Elara's enhanced perception, the nebula began to coalesce, not as a distant smudge, but as a vast, living entity. It pulsed with soft internal light, like the beating heart of a celestial leviathan. Its edges were not sharp, but dissolved into feathery tendrils that reached out into the void, beckoning them closer. It wasn't a violent, tempestuous cloud of gas and dust. Instead, it exuded an aura of profound tranquility, a deep, resonant peace. "The Whisperwind Nebula," Elara breathed, giving it a name as it revealed itself to her. It sings. Lyra, now looking through the viewport with renewed intensity, gasped. What had initially been a faint ethereal glow on the distant horizon was rapidly resolving into an unimaginable spectacle. It wasn't just stars and gas. It was a swirling, intricate ballet of colors, soft lavenders, deep indigos, shimmering silvers, and unexpected bursts of emerald green. These colors weren't static, they flowed and danced, interweaving like threads in a giant cosmic loom. The nebula seemed to breathe, expanding and contracting with a slow, deliberate rhythm. "It's beautiful, Mama," Lyra whispered, pressing both hands against the cool glass. "Like a giant, starry flower." Elara smiled, her eyes still closed but her perception fixed on the unfolding wonder. "More than a flower, little one. It's a cradle. A place where the universe dreams." As the eyes Elara drew closer, the gentle hum of the ship seemed to synchronize with the nebula's silent song. Elara felt the energy currents of the Whisperwind Nebula, not as turbulence, but as a series of gentle caresses against the I's Alaraya's hull. The seed translated these currents into a symphony within her mind. Soft, undulating chords that resonated with ancient echoes, whispers of creation, and the silent growth of nascent stars. It was a melody that spoke directly to the soul, soothing and profound. The Alare didn't just enter the nebula, it was welcomed. The outer tendrils of the Whisperwind seemed to part for them, guiding them gently deeper into its heart. The light inside was diffuse, pervasive, casting everything in a soft, luminescent glow. There were no harsh shadows, no blinding flares, only a perpetual twilight woven from cosmic dust and nascent starlight. "It's so quiet," Lyra observed, her voice hushed. "But not empty quiet, it's full. Full of life, Lyra," Elara affirmed, her eyes finally opening, though her gaze remained distant, still seeing beyond the immediate. "Not life as we know it perhaps, but life nonetheless. Energy. Patterns. Intent." The Alare glided deeper, and the nature of the Whisperwind Nebula began to reveal its true complexity. Within the swirling gases, Elara's senses, amplified by the seed, detected intricate structures. They weren't solid, rocky formations, but shimmering constructs of pure energy and crystallized light. They pulsed with an internal radiance, growing and shifting with a slow, deliberate grace. "Look, Mama," Lyra pointed, her finger trembling slightly. "What are those?" Before them, suspended in the luminous gases, were formations that resembled colossal, ethereal jellyfish, their long shimmering tendrils trailing for kilometers. They weren't animals, Elara knew, but they moved with an organic fluidity, contracting and expanding, drawing energy from the nebula itself. Their colors were even more vibrant up close, electric blues, fiery oranges, and deep purples, all shifting and blending in a mesmerizing dance. "Lumina Flora," Elara whispered, giving them a name. "They are the living light of the Whisperwind. They feed on the nebula's energies, growing and evolving through pure resonance." Through the seed, Elara could feel the Lumina Flora's intricate energy signatures. They were like complex biological systems, but composed entirely of light and stellar wind. They communicated through pulses of energy, forming vast interconnected networks that spanned the nebula. They were the architects of the Whisperwind's silent symphony, the weavers of its luminous tapestry. The Alare drifted amidst these wonders, a tiny mote in a grand living cathedral. Lyra, mesmerized, pressed her face against the viewport, her breath fogging the glass. She imagined what it would be like to swim among the Lumina Flora, to feel their gentle pulses against her skin, to absorb their soft, vibrant light. She reached out, her fingers splayed against the glass, as if trying to touch the ethereal beauty beyond. Elara, observing her daughter's wonder, felt a profound warmth spread through her. This was why they journeyed. Not for conquest, not for resources, but for the sheer, unadulterated joy of discovery, for the shared gasp of awe. The seed, connected to Elara, seemed to draw Lyra's emotional resonance into its field, amplifying the sense of wonder, making it a shared experience. "They are listening, Lyra," Elara said, her voice soft, almost a part of the nebula's hum. They feel our presence. They are curious, just as we are curious about them. Lyra looked back at her mother, her eyes wide. They can feel us? Yes. Elara nodded. Through the seed, we are speaking their language of light and energy. We are showing them our intent, of peace, of wonder. As if in response, one of the larger lumina flora, a majestic construct of swirling silver and emerald, drifted closer to the Elara. Its tendrils thick as ancient trees, pulsed with a gentle rhythm, radiating a soothing warmth that permeated the ship's hull. It hovered just meters from the viewport, its immense form filling Lyra's view. Intricate patterns of light danced across its surface, like living constellations. Lyra, instead of fear, felt only a deep sense of calm and fascination. She smiled then, on an impulse, gently tapped the glass. The lumina flora seemed to respond. A wave of shimmering light pulsed from its core, washing over the Elara, a silent greeting. Elara closed her eyes again, letting the seed fully immerse her in this interaction. She felt the lumina flora's query, a question posed in patterns of energy. Who are you, travelers of the void? What do you seek in our dreaming place? When do they see and free? Matasmidi. Iowa. And Elara, through the seed, answered. She projected images of their homeworld, of Lyra and herself, of their quest for understanding, their love for the universe. She showed them the Elara, not as a machine, but as a vessel of wonder. She conveyed their peaceful intentions, their reverence for the cosmic tapestry. The lumina flora responded with a complex sequence of light and energy, a story told without words. Elara understood. It was a history of the whisper wind, a chronicle of its slow, deliberate growth, its role as a sanctuary for nascent energies, a place where the universe took slow, deep breaths. It showed her how the lumina flora nurtured the growth of new stellar formations, how they acted as cosmic filters, purifying the interstellar medium, contributing to the delicate balance of the galaxy. Lyra, unable to perceive the full depth of this communication, still felt its impact. The ship was bathed in a gentle, warm light, and the air around her seemed to shimmer with benevolent energy. She felt a connection, a sense of belonging, as if the nebula itself had embraced them. "They're friendly, aren't they, Mama?" she asked, her voice filled with quiet certainty. "More than friendly, Lyra," Elara replied, opening her eyes, her gaze now sparkling with understanding. "They are ancient caretakers, guardians of a cosmic nursery." The Elara continued to drift, deeper into the heart of the Whisper Wind Nebula. The lumina flora became denser here, a veritable forest of living light. Their combined energies created a core of intense, yet calming, radiance. This was the echoing core Elara had sensed, a place of profound resonance. Here, the patterns of light were even more intricate, woven into vast symmetrical geometries that pulsed with a slow, powerful rhythm. It was like standing inside a giant, living fractal, where every shimmering branch and tendril was a reflection of the whole. Elara realized that the lumina flora were not just individual entities. They were components of a single, vast, interconnected consciousness, a collective mind that permeated the entire nebula. The seed hummed with a renewed vigor, absorbing the immense data stream, translating the cosmic language into pure understanding. Elara felt herself expanding, her consciousness momentarily merging with the collective mind of the lumina flora. She saw the universe through their eyes, a slow, majestic process of creation and transformation, a dance of light and shadow, matter and energy. She understood their purpose, their patient stewardship of this corner of the cosmos. Lyra, watching her mother, saw Elara's form flicker with an intense inner light. The patterns around her mother were no longer just weaving. They were flowing, merging, becoming one with the light of the nebula itself. It was as if Elara was dissolving into the tapestry, becoming a part of the cosmic fabric. "Mama?" Lyra whispered, a hint of unease in her voice, though the beauty around her was overwhelming. Elara's eyes were closed again, but a single tear, shimmering with captured starlight, traced a path down her cheek. It was a tear of pure, unadulterated awe. "It's breathtaking, Lyra," she murmured, her voice laced with wonder. "They are singing the song of creation, the very first notes. She reached out a hand, not to Lyra, but to the air, as if grasping at the light around them. The light responded, coalescing into a shimmering, ephemeral orb that pulsed gently in her palm before dissolving. It was a gift from the Lumina Flora, a touch of their collective consciousness, a fragment of the universal song. They stayed in the echoing core for what felt like an eternity, simply existing, absorbing the profound peace and beauty. Lyra sat cross-legged on the floor, leaning her head against the viewport, her eyes wide, taking in every shimmering detail. She watched the Lumina Flora pulse and shift, feeling the gentle energy flow through the ship, through her own small body. She felt safe, loved, and utterly insignificant, yet completely connected to everything around her. Eventually, Elara stirred, the intense light around her dimming slightly, though a new, subtle glow seemed to emanate from within her. The seed's hum was richer, deeper. The Elara itself felt different, vibrant, imbued with a new energy. "It's time to move on, little one," Elara said, her voice now back to its normal pitch, though still imbued with a quiet resonance. She opened her eyes fully, and Lyra saw a new depth in them, as if they now contained fragments of starlight. As the Elara slowly drifted away from the echoing core, the Lumina Flora pulsed a final complex farewell, a burst of energy that felt like a warm embrace. The nebulous tendrils gently guided them back towards the open void, its light gradually fading behind them. Lyra looked back, watching the Whisperwind Nebula recede, its vibrant colors softening into a distant ethereal glow. "Will we ever come back, Mama?" Elara smiled, her hand gently stroking Lyra's hair. "Perhaps, but the universe is vast, Lyra, and it has so many more songs to sing, so many more dreams to show us." As the Elara emerged from the Whisperwind Nebula, back into the familiar river of stars, Elara felt a subtle shift within the seed. It wasn't just a navigation tool anymore, nor merely an amplifier of perception. It had absorbed something profound from the Lumina Flora, from the echoing core. It was richer, more resonant, its connection to the universe even deeper. It now held a fragment of the Whisperwind's song, a soft, guiding melody within its core. And with that new resonance, Elara perceived a new path ahead. Not a predetermined course, but a subtle pull, a gentle beckoning from deeper within the cosmic current. The river of stars now seemed to flow towards a new destination, a new wonder, revealed not by instruments but by the universe itself, whispering its secrets through the enhanced seed. "The journey continues, my starlight," Elara murmured, her gaze fixed on the endless expanse ahead. The universe, vast and alive, stretched out before them, promising endless discovery, endless wonder, and the quiet comfort of shared exploration. What new dreams awaited them in the cosmic currents, she could only begin to imagine, guided by the universe's gentle, luminous hand. The universe, vast and alive, stretched out before them, promising endless discovery, endless wonder, and the quiet comfort of shared exploration. What new dreams awaited them in the cosmic currents, she could only begin to imagine, guided by the universe's gentle, luminous hand. The seed, humming softly, pulsed with a new vibrant light, a deep amethyst hue that had never graced its crystal facets before. It wasn't a warning, nor a mere data point. It was an invitation, a resonance that vibrated not just through the ship's hull, but through Elara's very bones. Beside her, Lyra, her daughter, stirred in her sleep pod, a soft sigh escaping her lips. Elara reached out, gently stroking Lyra's hair, a cascade of cosmic dust caught in the glow of the bridge. "Sleep well, my starlight," she whispered, her gaze returning to the seed. The seed's projection shimmered, resolving from abstract light into a delicate, fractal pattern that drifted just beyond their current trajectory. It wasn't a star, nor a nebula as they knew them. It was a faint, luminous thread, woven into the fabric of space itself, barely perceptible, yet impossibly bright to the seed's enhanced senses. It beckoned, not with urgency, but with a quiet promise of a secret shared. "A new path," Elara murmured, her finger tracing the ethereal thread on the console. She set the ship, the Stardust Dreamer, on a gentle intercept course. The journey would take them far from charted routes, deeper into the uncharted territories of the Inner Rim, where the galaxy's oldest whispers were said to reside. As days turned into weeks, the thread grew stronger, resolving into a phenomenon unlike anything cataloged. It was a ribbon of pure, flowing starlight, not emitted by stars, but woven from the very essence of space-time, undulating with a slow, rhythmic pulse. The seed translated its energy signature, pure creation, ancient beyond measure, yet vibrant with nascent life. Lyra, waking one morning to the ship bathed in an iridescent glow, pressed her face against the viewport. "Mama, what's that?" Her voice was hushed, reverent. "That, my love, is a cosmic current," Elara explained, her own heart swelling with wonder. "The universe is showing us a new way to travel, a river of light." The Stardust Dreamer didn't simply travel along the current. It became part of it. The ship's engines hummed with a new harmonious rhythm, drawing energy directly from the luminous flow. Outside, the ribbon of light shimmered, revealing intricate patterns, symbols, perhaps, or echoes of ancient dances, swirling into existence and fading away like dreams. The seed pulsed continuously, translating these patterns into feelings. Serenity, boundless energy, profound peace. As they drifted deeper into the current, the stars outside began to thin, replaced by a soft, diffused luminescence that pulsed with the rhythm of the current. It was as if they had entered a hidden chamber of the universe, a place where light itself was a living medium. The seed began to project three-dimensional images of the patterns, forming intricate, ephemeral structures around them on the bridge. Cathedrals of light, gardens of pure energy, fleeting architectural wonders that shifted and reformed with every pulse of the current. Lyra, eyes wide, reached out to touch a shimmering archway of light, her small fingers passing through it as if it were air. "It's like a dream you can see," she breathed. "And feel," Elara added, a warmth spreading through her chest. The current wasn't just beautiful, it was comforting, like being cradled in the arms of the cosmos. One cycle, as they called the passage of time within the current, the patterns began to converge, focusing on a single point, far ahead. The seed's amethyst glow intensified, now accompanied by a soft, melodic hum that seemed to resonate with an unheard choir. The current itself began to braid, forming a spiral tunnel of pure light, drawing the Stardust Dreamer gently towards its heart. "We're approaching something extraordinary, Lyra," Elara whispered, her voice filled with a mixture of awe and anticipation. "Something the universe has kept hidden until now." The tunnel opened into a vast spherical chamber of light, where the cosmic current seemed to coalesce. In its center, suspended like a jewel in a cosmic web, was not a planet, nor a star, but a colossal, crystalline structure. It pulsed with a gentle, inner light, reflecting the surrounding currents in a myriad of colors. It was a living geode, a cosmic heart, impossibly ancient, and impossibly alive. The seed projected its readings. The structure was composed of what it termed chronocrystal, a material that resonated with the very flow of time, containing echoes of eons past and whispers of futures yet to be. It was a repository of cosmic memory, a silent library of the universe's journey. "A world made of memories," Lyra whispered, her face pressed against the viewport, her breath fogging the glass. Elara guided the Stardust Dreamer closer, the ship's hull bathed in the gentle glow of the chronocrystal. As they approached, the surface of the crystal began to ripple, not physically, but with intricate patterns of light that flowed and shifted, like thoughts made visible. The seed acted as their interpreter. It projected the patterns onto the bridge, transforming them into a breathtaking tapestry of images and sensations. They saw the birth of stars, the swirling dance of galaxies, the quiet formation of planets, the first spark of life on distant worlds. It was a silent, grand narrative, unfolding before their eyes, powered by the chronocrystal's stored knowledge. Lyra gasped as a projection of a nebula, vibrant with nascent stars, swirled around her. She reached out, her hand passing through the shimmering light, and for a moment Elara saw a reflection of the starlight in Lyra's eyes, as if the nebula itself had imprinted a tiny piece of its wonder within her. "It's telling us a story, Mama," Lyra said, her voice barely a whisper. "The universe's story." Elara nodded, tears pricking her eyes. "And we are part of it, Lyra. Every star, every planet, every living thing is a word in that story." But as they continued to observe, the patterns shifted. Interspersed with the cosmic grandeur were smaller, more intimate images, fleeting glimpses of ancient civilizations, not of their technology, but of their emotions. A shared laugh under twin suns, the quiet comfort of a parent holding a child on a world of emerald skies, the profound sorrow of loss, the joy of discovery. These were not events, but pure feelings, distilled and preserved within the chronocrystal. The seed's amethyst glow deepened, vibrating with a profound empathy. It was revealing the emotional heart of the cosmos, the shared experience of sentience across countless ages and countless worlds. Elara realized the chronocrystal wasn't just a record of see what happening, it was a record of how it felt. One particular pattern emerged, repeating and growing stronger. A sense of longing, a quiet yearning for connection. It wasn't a sad longing, but a profound, hopeful one, like a vast, ancient consciousness reaching out across the void. The seed translated it as the echo of shared dreams. It feels lonely, Lyra observed, her brow furrowed. But also hopeful. Elara hugged her daughter close. Perhaps it is waiting for us, Lyra. Or perhaps it is simply waiting to be seen, to be understood. The seed then projected a new complex image, a delicate, intricate chamber within the chronocrystal, glowing with a soft, inviting light. It was an opening, a gateway. The echo of shared dreams intensified, beckoning them closer. "Do we go in, Mama?" Lyra asked, her voice small but brave. Elara hesitated for only a moment. This was not a physical threat. It was an invitation to a deeper understanding. The seed, her faithful guide, confirmed it. "Yes, my starlight, we will approach." She eased the stardust dreamer through the shimmering entrance. The moment they passed the threshold, the ship's engines quieted completely. The air on the bridge filled with a soft, melodious hum, like a million tiny bells chiming in perfect harmony. The light was no longer outside, it was everywhere, surrounding them, flowing through the ship's very structure. Inside the chamber, the chronocrystal opened into a vast hollow space, its inner walls shimmering with an infinite depth. There was no floor, no ceiling, only pure flowing light. And in the very center, suspended in the luminous void, was a single perfect sphere of pure energy, pulsing with all the colors of the universe. This was the heart of the chronocrystal, the core of its cosmic memory. As they drew closer, the sphere of energy began to expand gently, sending out ripples of light that touched the stardust dreamer. The seed pulsed wildly, its amethyst glow now interwoven with every hue imaginable. It was no longer just translating, it was wintegrating. The ripples of light passed through the ship, through Elara and Lyra, and into the seed. It wasn't an invasive feeling, but a gentle embrace. Thoughts, feelings, and memories not their own, but echoes of the universe's vast consciousness, flowed into them. They weren't overwhelmed. Instead, they felt an expansion of their own minds, a deeper understanding of their place in the cosmos. Elara saw glimpses of countless beings, across untold eons, all sharing the same fundamental emotions: love, curiosity, wonder, connection. She felt the quiet joy of a nascent star igniting, the patient growth of a planetary ecosystem, the intricate dance of cosmic dust forming new worlds. It was as if the universe itself was sharing its innermost being with them. Lyra, eyes closed, smiled. "I feel everyone," she whispered, her voice filled with a profound peace. "Everything." The seed, now glowing with a steady multi-hued light, projected a single powerful image. A network of interconnected light threads, stretching across the entire galaxy, linking every star, every planet, every living thing. It was the universe's true form, not separate entities, but one vast interwoven consciousness, bound by the echo of shared dreams. This was the ultimate secret. The universe was not just vast and empty. It was a living, breathing entity, and every spark of life was a part of its grand, interconnected dream. The chronocrystal was a central node, a memory bank, a heart, quietly sustaining this cosmic connection. As the vision faded, the sphere of energy in the center of the chamber began to contract. Gently at first, then more rapidly, until it was a tiny, brilliant point of light. It didn't disappear. Instead, it transformed, shimmering into a small, perfectly smooth obsidian-like stone, radiating a faint internal glow. It drifted slowly towards the stardust dreamer. The seed, sensing its approach, extended a delicate tendril of light. The stone settled gently onto the ship's console, right beside the seed. It was cool to the touch, yet pulsed with an inner warmth. The seed projected its new identity. The Dreamstone. It was a fragment of the chronocrystal's core, a physical manifestation of the shared dreams, a key to understanding the cosmic tapestry. "It's a gift," Elara murmured, reaching out to touch the Dreamstone. A wave of serene peace washed over her, deeper and more profound than any she had known. Lyra, her eyes now open, gently took Elara's hand and placed it on the Dreamstone. "It feels like home," she said, her voice filled with a quiet certainty. The chamber around them began to pulse, not with invitation but with a gentle farewell. The cosmic current, which had drawn them in, now seemed to guide them back out, reversing its flow. Elara understood. Their journey into the heart of cosmic memory was complete. They had received the gift, understood the message. The Stardust Dreamer drifted back through the spiral tunnel of light, through the vast chamber where the currents coalesced, and rejoined the main ribbon of flowing starlight. The chronocrystal, now gleaming with a quiet, knowing light, receded behind them. As they journeyed back along the cosmic current, the universe seemed different. Not just visually, but experientially. The stars no longer felt distant and cold. They felt like individual lights in a vast interconnected network, each one a hearth of its own story. The quiet hum of the Stardust Dreamer now felt like a lullaby, a melody woven into the grand symphony of the cosmos. The Dreamstone, resting beside the seed, occasionally pulsed with a soft, resonant light, projecting fleeting images of shared memories onto the bridge. A glimpse of an alien flower blooming, the gentle touch of two different species, the quiet joy of discovery. It was a constant reminder of the universal connection they had found. Elara often sat with Lyra, telling her stories of the universe, not just of what they had seen, but of what they had shigalti. Lyra in turn would share her own dreams, now infused with the boundless wonder of the cosmos. She would describe flying with star whales through nebulae of liquid light, or planting gardens on worlds where the trees sang. One evening, as the Stardust Dreamer drifted through a particularly beautiful field of shimmering nebulae, Elara held Lyra close. The Dreamstone glowed softly, casting a gentle light on their faces. The seed, its amethyst light now tempered with a rainbow of hues, pulsed with contentment. "Mama," Lyra murmured, her head resting on Elara's shoulder. "Will we ever stop exploring?" Elara smiled, pressing a kiss to her daughter's hair. "My starlight, the universe is endless. There will always be new wonders, new whispers, new dreams to discover. But the most important journey, the one we've truly begun, is the journey of understanding that we are all connected. That every whisper is a part of a grand conversation, and every star is a light in our shared home." She gazed out at the swirling colors of the nebula, a masterpiece painted by cosmic dust and starlight. The universe no longer felt like an endless void to conquer, but a gentle, living presence to embrace. The Stardust Dreamer, with the seed and the Dreamstone as its guides, continued its quiet voyage, not searching for an end, but simply reveling in the journey. "The universe is dreaming, Lyra," Elara whispered, her voice soft as the cosmic currents outside. "And we are its dreams, dreaming along with it. Close your eyes, my love. Let the starlight guide you to your own wonderful dreams tonight, knowing that you are always connected, always cherished, and always part of something vast and beautiful." Lyra closed her eyes, a contented sigh escaping her lips. In the gentle hum of the ship, in the soft glow of the Dreamstone, and in the quiet comfort of her mother's arms, she drifted into sleep, her dreams already beginning to shimmer with the boundless wonder of the universe. A universe that had revealed its deepest secret. That love, curiosity, and connection were the true currents that bound all things. And in those dreams, the journey truly continued, an endless dance of discovery and peace.